In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create irresistible offers for your business that convert like wildfire. What destroys an offer, what makes an offer higher converting, and ultimately what you need to realize because your offer could not be selling as much because you're missing these key components. Now, I've had very good irresistible offers now for the last 7 years. I do well over $1 million a month. And I'd love to share with you what things I compact into my offers so that they actually convert irresistibly. So before we get into this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Also in the description is our school group you can join completely for free so you can get more value and more insight from me on that daily basis that your business needs. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So we're going to go over to the whiteboard here and go over the types of offers that are dissected into 3 buckets. There are 3 buckets of offers. One of these buckets is yours. Okay, so first things first is the curious offer. And this is where most of your offers are right now. People just opt in because they're curious. They want to see more information. The sales cycle is longer. This causes a lot of heightened ad spend, cash flow issues weekly, bi-weekly in the business, and the inability for you to scale, hire more people, and spend more on ads. If your offer is a curious offer, here's a good example of that. If you're a SaaS business, here's what you can add on to get X. Just because it's an add-on or a bolt-on doesn't mean that they need it right now, which is the bleeding neck or the neck bleeding offer. This is where literally they are going to die or their business is going to die if they do not get this done. So maybe that's a higher conversion rate on their webinar, a better slide deck, getting more views organically on social media. Like those are bleeding neck offers. Okay. Maybe they got their payment processor banned. They got to move to a new one. They want to eliminate more chargebacks. Those are neck bleeding type of offers. And then we have the middle offer, which is the coming up or the add-on. This is kind of like the SaaS offer that I displayed to you earlier. Okay. And we could also do this. We can call it the lack of sleep offer. And what that means is that people just have a hard time sleeping thinking about this then. There's a big difference between lack of sleep and neck bleeding. Lack of sleep is like, yeah, I wish I had it. I'll get to it at some point, but I know I need it. Curious offer is, yeah, that sounds cool. Like I'll look into it. And neck bleeding is, dude, my show rates are really bad. Dude, my payment processor just shot me down. Like that's a neck bleeding type of offer. You do not want to have, if you're in the curious offer right now, you need to start moving the messaging to at least the lack of sleep offer, which is, add-on offer. Let's get your text messages from the green bubble to the blue bubble. That is a good add-on based coming up offer. Also, another good add-on would be if you use Go High Level, here's an AI setter that will place for you that does X, Y, and Z. That's a good one. Okay, it's a good add-on. It's something good to have, but is it required? Neck bleeding is, we're going to place a setter in your business in 24 hours and increase your show rates by 30%. That is a crazy good offer. Or we will train your sales team and over the next 30 days, we'll double their close rate guarantee. That's a neck bleeding offer. Okay, usually where there's neck bleeding, there's money bleeding in the business. Okay, so second piece here is offer stacking 101. What exactly needs to go into a very high converting, irresistible offer? First off is that results driven promise. Okay, I put a little asterisk here because you want to be careful with what you say. Your results driven promise is either going to be a claim, a guarantee, or an expected result. Make sure that that thing is fulfillable and doesn't bite you in the ass. Okay, the results driven promise, an example is land your first wholesale deal in 30 days or less. That's a good results-driven promise. How can we make it better? Is by adding what I love is specificity. Okay, so land a wholesale deal, profiting upwards of 20K in the next 30 days. More specificity on the deal size. Okay. Second is your level of access. Now we have a results-driven promise that's really sexy, drives a money-based result, drives that quick win that people want. If people are poor, the neck bleeding offer is I can make 20K in 30 days. Okay. It's not this thing that's like an add-on or they would already be a wholesale business owner in the first place. If they were already a wholesale business owner and then you said, if you're a wholesaler, I'm going to show you can triple the amount of cold calls you make per day. Like that's a better add-on offer. Or I'm going to install this AI setter that actually is pre-trained on wholesaling that will triple your deal flow in the next 30 days. That's a good add-on offer. Now we get to level of access. I always do, like if I'm doing like a group coaching, this is for this offer example, by the way, the whole land a wholesale deal in 30 days or less. I would do 16 weeks, 2 calls weekly. It's undeniable proof and value for you to get 32 calls over 16 weeks, right? So that you can keep driving that result and land more than just one wholesale deal, which is where you're going to map out what the offer looks like. So month 1, you're landing your first deal. Month 2, you get another deal. Month 3, you're starting to get 2 deals. Month 4, you're starting to get 3 deals a month. You're ramping up to this to where it's undeniably a good ROI and you have undeniable access to get those results. Now we get into the fast action bonuses. All good offers have fast action bonuses and scarcity and urgency behind them. And all these fast action bonuses need to have key man risk. Okay, so for our done for you webinar offer, all of our fast action bonuses are key man risk. Okay, so it means that I'm taking a bonus away or something that would make it implied that you should only be able to get it now. So for example, we give the done for you slide deck as the fast action bonus. You take action on the webinar, you take action on the call, we build the slide deck for you. That is a key man risk fast action bonus. If I do not give them a key man risk bonus, I'm now susceptible to them picking apart my offer and just critiquing too heavily. If they critique the offer too much, they're going to find some instability or incongruencies in that offer that would make them now not want to buy. Okay, so I always take away the most important thing. I make it the fast action bonus for X amount of people. So I have some scarcity and urgency around it that it's only today, it's only on the webinar, etc. Okay, so key man risk, this could be for the wholesale deal example, it could be their dialer. I'll give you the exact dashboard import and the dialer with all the automations that you can literally click the button and dial now. Like that's crazy, okay? Second would be the script I use. Third would be, how do I find the cold callers? And fourth would be, where am I getting my leads? These are good examples of key man risks that would then allow us to sit there and go, okay, well, we're going to give them the 16 weeks, 2 calls a week. But if you buy, right, and we could isolate 3 of these. You could add 3 of these. So this could be, personally 1, 2, 3. These are probably the most important. But fourth is the key man risk. I could have a dialer. I could have a script. I could be good at finding cold callers. But if I don't know where I'm getting my leads, none of those things matter. So the lead source is the key man risk fast action bonus. Hope that makes sense. Now, what destroys offers more than anything? Now you know what goes into a really good offer. What destroys offers? First is unclarity. If you give an offer to someone like me or any other marketer and they don't understand it in one sentence, nobody's going to understand it. You're going to overcomplicate the offer, which gives them unclarity, which then makes the sales cycle longer. And if the sales cycle's longer, no one's going to buy because it takes too long for them to have the right clarity and decision-making on the offer itself. Okay. Second is going to be lack of support. If you don't have coaches, if you don't have people in your ecosystem that they can learn from consistently every single week, or that level of support of, hey, I have office hours, I have X amount of calls. Lack of support will be able to unguide people, and that's going to cause them to drop off the program, refunds, chargebacks, all that. Third is congruent proof. A lot of offers I see online state a promise, but the social proof does not align with the promise. So it's like, let's say, for example, I had an offer, and I see this online where someone's like, we're going to place a sales closer in the business. And then some of their case studies are talking about their cool sheets, the spreadsheets, and the show rates going up. But that's not what the offer is about. The offer is about placing a sales closer and having a certain closing ratio. You have to make sure that whatever you state as the results-driven promise, your case studies back that up and you have congruent proof. Fourth is no results-driven promise. You just say, hey, I help people lose weight, or hey, I help you switch from carnivore to vegan, wherever. It's too vague. There's no result in it. But if I said, hey, I'm going to help you trim down 18 pounds in the next 30 days and reverse menopause, that's a results-driven promise. These other things that people say, they don't drive a result. You think they care about it, but they don't. Because the market's the judge. And if the market's the judge and no one's buying, it means your offer sucks. Straight up. It's ass. Okay. And then we get to the no bleeding pain point. Your offer does not have a neck bleeding pain point. Okay. Why are we pitching webinars so heavily right now? Because we're in a trust recession. You get a higher return on ad spend and you stop taking one-to-one calls and you save 39 hours a week of your time. Those are bleeding pain points. They know trust is down. They know buying power is down. They know show rates are down. They don't want to be on the calendar all week long taking calls. They want to get more out of their ad spend. Those are neck bleeding points. And if your offers don't have this, you're going to have problems growing and scaling. So I hope this video gave you some clarity on your offer. If you want to drop yours in the description, comment section, I'd love to give you some feedback. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.